Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have heat. Well, kind of. We spent half a day yesterday and put some plastic up to hopefully make the heat from our fire stay in a little bit better, because last year was miserable and we want to make sure it's a little more tolerable this year. So it's not a lot. It costs less than 200 bucks, but hopefully when it's negative 30 outside, it's plus 30 in here, and that's tolerable. Bibs, maybe a pair of gloves, and a sweatshirt is perfect. So let's get to it now that we're all warm and cozy. So today what we're working on is we're going to figure out our clutch. I happened to think, I was sitting one time and it just came to me, I have a clutch. So why go buy a clutch when I have a clutch? So I got the clutch out of my semi-trailer. We're going to put the flywheel back on. This is again just mock-up. Put the flywheel back on, see if the clutch fits, see if everything goes together, put our transmission on. We had to put a spacer in there because these flywheels are so massive. And I can order a spacer, but I want to make sure I get the right one. So we got to figure that out. And then we've decided to go water to air intercooler. So we got to put the engine back in and find out, can we make one fit? That's what this pipe up here is doing, is just kind of mocking where one would go. Will the hood close? And then we're also going to work on, see if we can put the van gas pedal into the Jeep. Is it going to fit? Can we run the wires? Is all that going to go? So let's get this flywheel on and see if it's going to work. You can laugh at our socket, but I took my set home and he doesn't have them, so this is just going to work for right now. We'll actually run at lunch and grab a new set. Okay, we got the flywheel on. Let's put the pressure plate on, and I don't care about a clutch right now because we're just trying to figure out our depth here. The other problem is I have standard bolts, and these are metric. This is the dual mass flywheel. So this flywheel's actually got springs in it and moves. I can't use this clutch with springs in it, but I had it, it's brand new, we're in mock-up stage. So this right here is gonna go just like that. That fits, we're happy, we're not putting this in yet. Then we have this brand new pressure plate. Again, I mean, there's still machining marks in there, just a little surface rust. Let's see, this is from an old 6.5 Chevy. So let's see if the bolt holes line up. The dowel pins do not. And yes, I'm using standard bolts in a metric hole. We will have the correct thing later. So what we're going to do is I'm going to drill these holes out just a little bit so that way we can make them line up. If I have to get a different pressure plate, I will, but there's really no reason. They just don't want you to put this wimpy transmission on the back of this big engine like I'm doing. We just slightly opened up the holes just a little bit so that way we can get this started here. Feel free to laugh, that's fine. So I think the bolt spacing is bigger because it's for a ZF6. Third time's the charm, I guess. That's what they say anyway. So the alignment dowels are completely off, which is fine, I'm not worried about that. Back before, you know, in the days of this 6.5 here, they didn't use alignment dowels, they just used bolt holes to center it. What I'm trying to figure out is, so unprepared, AJ.
I put that back too in its proper spot.
How dare you?
I know.
Alright, so we're 3/8 of an inch out. I'll deal with that. What I'm trying to figure out is, from the surface of the block, how far does the pressure plate stick out? Are we even going to fit in this little transmission? And by the way, I've gotten a few comments about this wimpy NV3500. Yes, it's a half-ton transmission. Part of the reason this engine is derated is from a van, it's 250 horse. I know it's a weak link. This is what we're kind of calling proof of concept. This engine fits in this Jeep with minor modifications. As far as I'm concerned, it's minor modification. We are going to break stuff. We are aware of that. This is blown up behind 4.3s, but they also put it behind 5.3s. So it's cheap, it's easy, it's readily available. We're going to find out if it works. If we blow this up, which we most likely will, we'll look at an NV4500. Maybe I'll have access to a ZF6 at that point. But we know that this is not going to last forever. I don't plan to beat the snot out of this, at least not yet. Maybe we'll get to that point. We just need to know this Duramax is fitting in that Jeep. We're going to make this so it runs. And then same thing, the transfer case, the rear axles, we most likely will break something. That just adds to the fun. It gives us a time to change something, to modify, to beef up, whatever you want to call it. But if it works, we just got to get this thing on the road, go drive it, have fun, and then we'll work on upgrading things. So from the back of the block to the front of our clutch right now is 5 inches. We take 3/8 of an inch out. We know we've got this to contend with. What do we have in here? If I go to a full hydraulic throw-out bearing, which I'm hoping to, I don't know if that's going to gain me room or if I'm going to lose room. So I was at 5, so that'd be, I mean, because the fingers right here are at like 5 1/4. We'll take off 3 3/8. I don't know that it's going to fit. Oh, I don't think it's going to work. We're not out of options. We've got options, we just have to figure out what they are. This dual mass flywheel was half the price of a solid mass flywheel. What I don't know is a solid mass flywheel thinner? I mean, theoretically it is. So we've got to do some more investigating there. I still want to use that transmission if I can. One, because I already have 3 of them. But also, I don't know that if I went to an NV4500, this wouldn't still be an issue. We just got to do some more thinking. This is still going to happen. This just means I got to turn the brain juices a little bit more, and we'll figure this out. The next thing we're going to go ahead and try and do is, let's go ahead and stuff this back in the Jeep and see if we can make that water-to-air intercooler fit. That's mocking up anyway. And then we'll work on the gas pedal. On to the next. Engine's back in. What we have to figure out is, this is mocking up my water-to-air intercooler. And the hope is, if we get all these wires out of the way, that the intake, if we do this right here, I'll probably have to cut this down a little bit, or just get it to go on would be handy. AJ, I think you planned this.
Whatever I can do to mess you up.
So if our fresh air comes in something like this, over the alternator, I actually kind of like the way that sits right there. We'll have to shorten it. The thought is, can we put a water-to-air intercooler literally right there? And we've got this piece that AJ supplied from a leaf blower that's 4 inches in diameter, and that's what we're looking at. So can I sit it kind of like this right here on top of the motor, and then basically have a 180 go into, coming out of the turbo, do a 180 into here, and then another 180 to our Y bridge. Can you see that down in there? Here's your Y bridge right here. So if we do something like this, will the hood close? That's the question we're trying to figure out. That is 4 inches in diameter, and that will work. Our thermostat comes out here, power steering pump right here, that comes nicely over the alternator. Can we make the hood close? That's what we have to find out. As soon as we get the ECM back, the ECM is on its way back. As soon as we get the ECM back, we get to start on wiring, which is exciting.
Because then we start it.
Then we start it, once we have an oil pan.
I told Tim, dude, this thing will run without an oil pan.
It will run without an oil pan, just probably not as long as we would like it to. Well, AJ gave me the wrong tube. AJ, yeah, this is 4 inches. So AJ gave me the wrong tube, so it's his fault. I couldn't believe that didn't work. That looks better. And the thing is, everybody says I need to relocate the PCV system, and I could do that, and if we did that, it would set this down a little bit lower, but I think now that we have the right part in there, that one was 5 inches.
Still bumping it.
Yeah, but we're on our stops. I think we can make that work. Do you think we can make that work? I like that. And I like the way this is working too. I thought it was too tall, but I actually like the way that comes down into that corner. And they said it wouldn't fit. All right, throttle pedal. We're kind of at a standstill over here. This just is what it is. We're gonna see how close the van throttle pedal, which is different than the pickup, but for the LBZ, is gonna fit in here. So let me zip that one out. We'll put them next to each other. We'll see what they look like, and then we'll figure out what that is going to entail to get it.
Wait, watch your face.
That could have been bad.
Yeah.
Good thing I wear a hat. This is the gas pedal from the van on just one of the two studs from the Jeep. That is not bad. We do need to bring it over a little bit, but the height is actually really, that's doable. So I think what we'll do is we'll make a bracket or something to get it over a little bit, but that's not bad. Something went well today. I think that's pretty nice. I have the bracket around here somewhere in our mess there's a bracket that was in the van that the gas pedal was bolted to. So we might even be able to bolt that to shift the pedal to the side a little bit. This is the bracket we saved off the van for the gas pedal. That is the van gas pedal. What we're gonna do is, this does bolt up to the stud in there fine, but to make it sit nicer and more factory, we're gonna weld an ear off to the side of this, and then we will drill a hole in the back of this here, and this will set it perfect.
Okay, really quick, this is gonna be the tab that we're gonna weld over here. So I'm not 100% sure where on this, but right about there. Tim thinks I'm talking to him, but he forgets that we have a YouTube channel every once in a while. But we're gonna just weld it right like that, I think. Bottom, we already cut that off. So we'll get this tacked up, we'll test the fitting, and then we'll go from there. And if it works, we'll weld it up. Oh, got a little close with the grinder. Good thing it didn't touch my thumb. There's the final product at this point. That's the back side. Front side I don't need to grind and make look clean or anything.
There it is. We will paint it once we know that it's what we want, but that worked out pretty good. The one thing we do have to do is this hole right here is for one of the mounting studs from the Jeep. So I did have to notch, and it's just a little plastic. It's nothing real serious we took out there. So I do have to put the bracket on and then put the pedal on. We just wanted to show how well that came out. Very happy with that. So let's get it installed.
All right, there's our position for the pedal. And honestly, it looks really good. Tim says he wants to work on it more and make more problems, but...
Vroom, vroom!
So it might be hard to see, but that's our bracket with our pedal on it, hooked onto the Jeep. Looks pretty good, actually.
Bit of a shorter day today. We have so many things contingent on other things. We're making slow progress. This is the tedious part. It's slow, it's boring, it's not fun. The end result is what's fun. We figured out this works here really well. We got our intake and where our air-to-water cooler is going to go. We got our gas pedal bracket made. We painted that up. We'll be able to put that in next time. We figured out that we're having interference issues with our transmission. That's part of the game. That's part of the fun. That's part of the learning. And what makes this even more exciting to drive in the end is because nothing we're putting together is designed to go together. Really happy with it. Next time, we're hoping to potentially get this thing running again. Hopefully I'll have the oil pan back, but the ECM should be back by next week. Maybe we can hear this thing fire in the Jeep. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notifications so you see when the next video posts. We'll catch you next time.